Alright, today I'm going to give you guys a detailed look at this Guyver figure. This is Guyver 1, and it is their Ultimate Edition, so I don't think they'll make another one. And here's product number 600, and this is their 15th anniversary of Figma since 2008. So here's the back of the box. See, Guyver 1. So let's, before I do that, this is a sleeve. Remove this, and there's the figure and the box. And on the back of this box, got a couple of images of Guyver 1 with some poses. So let's get into it. So here we have Guyver 1 outside the packaging, and then as far as accessories, let's go over this first. We have a bunch of hands. The first one here is gripping hands, but there's nothing for them to grip, so I don't know why they created the gripping hands. And then we have the translucent base, and then of course the poly bag, and then we have the Guyver 1 unit right there, the long blades, and then we have the hand that rips part of his face off, and then here's the head, well, the face portion of his ripped off face, and then here's the Guyver 1 unit. And let's take a closer look at him. And the face looks like it's missing some lines or something, but yeah, it just looks a little weird, as it's some lines are missing around the eyes. But that's kind of, yeah, that's how I feel when I first looked at this guy. Then here's the rest of him. Definitely bulkier than the older version, which I'll do a comparison later on in this video. But let's take a look at the rest of Guyver 1 on the side here. Focus, there we go. And he does not have a switch out chest piece like the previous version. This one just opens up, so that is good. And there we go. There's the open chest. Come on, focus. Why is this taking so slowly? It's taking forever for this camera to focus nowadays. But there it is. I'm going to manually focus. There we go. Really pretty. I like it. So let us rotate him on the, so I can get a look at him from the back side. And I think the color is better too, which I will again do a comparison in a little bit. Alright, so as far as articulation, head can be pulled up a little bit. When you first get it, it's kind of like this. It's down a little bit, but you could actually move it up a little bit and give him a little more range. So you could turn his head almost every which way. Looking back, not so much though. I mean, he could look up just a tad bit, not a lot, but he can look down quite a bit. Then as for the shoulders, these are yeah, these are not these are hinge shoulders, I believe. And then it does have a no, there's a ball jointed socket there. It does have a butterfly joint, but it's very minimal movement though. Oh, this side is a little bit better, so maybe it's just stuck. There we go. So it can move out a little bit right there. And of course his arms can move 360. It is very tight though. For some reason this figure is very tight. And then as for the bicep, there's a swivel joint right there, and then elbows are double jointed, so it could fold all the way in, which is nice. And then we have ball hinge wrists. And then as far as the chest, we already saw this portion. It opens up. And then right there, there's a ball joint in here. And then there's a ball joint around the waist. And there's also abdominal crunch, which is nice. See, like right there. See, that's nice. I like that. Then as far as the legs, can be lowered and can be separated out a little bit more too. So seems like there's a ball joint for the thigh section for it to rotate out that way, and then it yeah, so which allows him to move quite a bit actually. So this this kind of still hinders the articulation a little bit, this armor piece, but still, whoa, look at that, you can swing it all the way up. And then the thigh still has a swivel, I believe, up here, so there is still a swivel joint, swivel cut joint right there. And then the knee bend, really nice, look at that, it covers up this panel right here, it shifts. Nice, look at that. So it covers up nicely, so with the knee it doesn't look awkward. And then there's a ball hinge ankle, and then he has toes articulation. So as far as articulation, this guy is really good, except for the fact that I wish he could look up a bit more, because if he could do crunch, then I wish his head could look up. But yeah, unfortunately his head is hindered by the neck collar and also the back of the head. If they have carved this section out a little bit, I think it would have made him look be able to look up much more. But as of right now, he is a little bit limited. But he can do the kick. Does the foot focus already? There we go. We can do the kick pretty well. And he could, of course, do a landing pose, but it's just that he won't be able to look up. And to switch out the blades, let's see, just pop this off. Oh, there's a little ball hinge joint here. Oh my goodness. Oh, is this just a ball joint? It looks like it's just a ball joint there. A little tiny ball joint there. And pop that in. And there you have the long blade, which is awesome. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, might as well switch this one out too then. There we go. Really cool. Look at that. Yeah, this one is really nice. I like this. Do I like this more than the first one? Yeah, I probably do actually. Just look at that. He could cross his arm like that too. That's cool. It's not a... I mean, I don't know what this pose is, but it looks pretty nice. Here's the back of him. The hips are a little bit on the loose side. So let me switch out the blades again. These are just too long. There we go. And they are rubbery. Like not like Hasbro rubbery, but still a little bit rubbery, so it won't break on you. So to switch out the face, all you have to do is just pop the front portion off right there, and they kept the little eye up here, the eyes up there, and then you can pop this face on. And now you have part of his face showing. And if you put this hand on him, so you can kind of recreate that pose of ripping his face off, part of his face off. So that is interesting. So let us get a closer look at this head sculpt for a second. Really nice. So let me put the other head sculpt back on. Okay, here it is, back on. And let me do a, give me a second and I will do a comparison between the two Guyver 1 figures. I wonder if they'll do Guyver 2 and Guyver 3. I hope they do Guyver 2, because yeah, I really want a Guyver 2. But yeah, and here's a look at the unit itself. Alright, and here we have a size comparison between the two Guyver 1s. Of course, the small one is the old one by Figma. So they're both by Figma, and look at the size difference between the two. My goodness, it's a huge difference. And the color's a little different too. This one is a little brighter. This one is a little more greenish than blue. And the finishing is different too. One is matte finish and one is glossy finish. So let me show you a closer look. Like you can kind of tell with the chest here. Look at that. And look at this. Here's a look at the old one. You can see it kind of defines the eyes a little bit more than the new one. Maybe it's missing that brow thing. Yeah, the brow is more defined right there. The angular brow. But this one, there isn't one. It's like it's somewhat missing here. I'm not sure. It looks a little strange here. Yeah, I think the original one got a better head sculpt than the new one. At least to me, that is. And then there's the chest. Compare the two chests. It's definitely a scaled up version of the older one. I mean, not a straight up scaling, but there's of course this resculpt. But it's good seeing the two of them together, so you can kind of see the difference between the two and the similarities between the two as well. So if you don't have the original one, I would say definitely get the new one. But if you have the original one, there's still enough differences between the two for you to justify the new one. And then here are the two units. So again, this one is matte finish, and this one has a little gloss to it. Hopefully that was focused, but if not, here's another look at them. Oh, I always thought the inside was translucent, but it's not. It's painted silver on the old one, and the new one you can see everything. It's a translucent plastic. Yeah, so that's nice. The new one is much nicer, and everything else is sculpted pretty nicely. Then even the inner what do you call that? The inner skin, It's not even an inner suit, but I guess it's the inner suit because these are armor pieces over on top. It's sculpted a little bit better too. And even the bicep, you kind of see it right there. Let me see if I can focus manually. There you go. Let me brighten this up a little bit. So I mean, it's kind of similar. I mean, it's just lines around the bicep section you can see, but they're just more on the new one than the old one. And then as far as the articulation for the old one, let me see here. Let's just go over the elbow section. It does have a ball hinge joint, and then base there they use a ball joint for the forearm section, so it gives it a little more range, so that's good. And yeah, it can't fold all the way in like the new one can. And then there's no abdominal crunch for the new one, but it still can do a pretty good range of motion. Actually, range of motion is still pretty, it's still very good actually. And then as for the legs, let's see, these are not drop down legs. They're a little hindered. Single jointed knee. There's a thigh swivel as well, and then ankle, and then it does also have the toes articulation. So yeah, as far as articulation, this one is not bad at all. Guyver one is not bad at all. It's almost just as good. Oh, you could spread the legs a bit more than the old one actually. Why is that? I don't understand. What is that joint? It pops outward a little bit. So look at the way his leg is spread. It's actually more than the new one. Even if I lower this, it can't spread his legs as far as the old one. So the range of motion for the old one is actually better than the new one. Or is it the same? Let me see here. Nope, it's a little bit more than the old one. No, actually, let me see here. Just do measurement here. Oh yeah, the old one definitely has a lot more range than the new one as far as the hips is concerned. But as far as looking up, the old one is just as bad as looking up. But yeah. So as far as range of motion, there are some parts are better on the old one. There are some parts better on the new one. So yeah, it's more of a take your pick. But I'm not sure how much the old one costs right now, since there's a new one. I don't think anyone would jack up the price of the old one anymore. So if you decide to get the old one, but it is a lot smaller, but I would imagine people would get the new one instead of the old one. So yeah, they look fantastic. Oops, sorry. Both of them look fantastic, and yeah. But let's see, would I prefer one over the other one? I think I would go with the new one because it's a little bit bigger, and range of motion seems to be just as good, if not a little bit better. And then the chest is more detailing on the chest, but the face is a little off to me. Yeah, it does come with a bunch of hands. I think the other one also comes with a bunch of hands, so that's good. And it does come with this promotional shot of this character. So yeah. So there you have it. There's Guyver 1 from Figma, and I do recommend this guy. It is a very, very nice figure, but again, the face is a little off. Otherwise, it's very good. And I think this is more of the more of a correct color of his armor. It's more bluish. It's turquoise. Yeah, it's more turquoise than the other one. The other one is more greenish. The old one's a little more greenish. It's kind of hard to tell, but in person you will see it. It's a little more greenish than the new one. So there you go. Hopefully they'll do Guyver 2 and Guyver 3 for this newer scale. So there you go. Thanks for watching.